UConn continues this reign of dominance with a win, 82-51 over Syracuse. Breonna Stewart wins her fourth most outstanding player in the national championship. Gino Auriemma gets his 11th championship. He never lost in any of his championship visits. Breonna Stewart is the reigning 3-time AP Player of the Year. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of just UConn's dominance and this win? I mean, they had three graduating seniors now. Mariah Jefferson, Breonna Stewart, of course, and then Morgan Tuck. So what did you guys think about this game? Rashad, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I mean, it basically shows that UConn is a dynasty. It shows that you have potentially the greatest coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time, coaching you players that know how to play as a team. As they're saying earlier, he doesn't focus on bringing in those people who want the starlight and spotlight, because they showed when Breonna Stewart signed her letter of intent to come there. It wasn't like with the hats and everything like that. It was just right at her house and stuff like that. So it shows what kind of players that he looks for and what he turns them into be, how great they are. And it just shows just how great of a program that is and how much of a dynasty there are.
All right, Rudy, what did you think?
Absolutely nothing. This was expected to me. There's no shock. There's no surprise. Congratulations to Syracuse women's basketball for making it there, but didn't really expect them to win the game. Didn't really expect them to be in the game. And that's essentially what happened. They lost by 31 points. So there's not much there was no shining moment for them. The coming out of the tunnel was their shining moment. When they stepped on the court, it was a nightmare. It was literally.
I mean, they had a nice 16-0 run in the game. I mean, if they didn't start off slow, it's not really starting off slow. You just have a great team doing what they do. I mean,
exactly.
That's the reason they went undefeated.
It's not starting off slow. It's more so getting locked down. And I don't know. It was just really expected to me. So, I mean, I think that UConn's a great team and they will always be a great team. But other than that, there's no shock and awe. There's no surprise here. This is something I can say probably 90% of people expected. So, congratulations. I'm glad that Syracuse showed up, but another championship for UConn.
All right, Khalid, what did you think about them winning?
It's just another win. I mean, they undefeated throughout the whole tournament, throughout the whole season, and they come to the championship game, and you think they ain't gonna win? I mean, yeah, UConn is just dominant. I mean, they have great players on their team, amazing coaching, and there's nothing really any other team can do. You know how they say there's certain matchups for people, like we say for the Warriors. There's matchups with them where they may lose against the Spurs at home. Ain't no matchup. According to UConn, they just whoop everybody, and the way they just blow out these teams is just crazy. Congratulations to UConn's women's team for winning, for beating the crap out of. For beating the crap out of.
Yeah. It's honestly crazy because you look at it, and Breonna Stewart's dominance is what she's done at UConn in her time there. She's been the most accomplished UConn player. I mean, she's even over Diana Taurasi, and then she's the only women's player to win 4 outstanding player awards in the Final Four. And the only other person to do it was in men's basketball, and that was Lou Alcindor, who is now known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And so you look at those kind of things, and you're just like, wow, they've really been that dominant. And the last team to win 4 consecutive NCAA championships was John Wooden's teams of the 1960s going onto 1973. And you look at things like that, and you're just like, wow. I mean, all their wins they won every game this season by double digits. Mm-hmm. They've won 75 consecutive games. All of them have been by double digits. And you just sit there. It's not like it's just Breonna Stewart. I mean, she had 24 points, 10 rebounds, and it's 6 assists. But you look at it, it's like a whole culmination of teams that just of the players, and it's honestly you give it up to them, because when you can keep this level of greatness, especially with Gino, you give it up to him, especially because when you coach this level of greatness for so long, it makes it worthwhile watching these games till you see their greatness. And in a statement, Gino he said, what those 11 championships mean to me is how many great players I've had the opportunity to coach, how many great people have come through the program. It doesn't matter whose name is above or whose name is under. As long as I have those players in my memory, I'm good. And so when you look at something like that, and then he also went on to say there's 3 key ingredients that go into this kind of success. And then he pointed to his 3 seniors. And I guess what he's saying by that, I mean, it takes great leadership in order to pull out these kind of wins, and in order to have a program that keeps winning as long as it has. And so do you guys feel as though with this win, because I know a lot of people will say, like I've already heard some women, some women, some men have said that this makes Gino Auriemma like the best coach in history with his 11 wins, because that passes John Wooden for most wins in NCAA history. And then do you think Breanna Stewart could arguably be the best women's player or collegiate player we've ever seen? What do y'all think?
Addressing the first question, I mean, it puts him in the discussion for one of the best college coaches to ever do it. He does have more championships than John Wooden now, but John Wooden, that was a hell of a coach. Yeah. So it's one of those 1A, 1B situations for me, and then you're always going to look at it, and it's sad to say, but I don't think Auriemma is going to get as much credit as he probably deserves because he coaches women's basketball. As far as Breanna Stewart, she's up there. She's quite possibly the best UConn women's player to ever come out. I think Taurasi just sort of gets the nod because she was the best for so long, and then she went to the WNBA, and she's been one of the best players in the WNBA as well. So I think it's going to be determined whether she was better or not after she goes to the WNBA, and they see if she translates as well as they think she will.
I think Gino Auriemma is top 3 coaches of all time. Any sport you want to put it in, because his resume is just so outstanding. Everything he does is just winning. Like he has his team with 6 undefeated seasons. That's more than all of college basketball combined. That's insane. So you're looking at that, like what he does. He does this. He wins championships. It's not like they do the undefeated and losing the tournament, kind of like a Kentucky did. It's nothing like that. It's when they go undefeated, you already know when the tournament starts who's going to win the national championship. Even back in the the time period when you had the Skylar Diggins and the Brittany Grinders in there, you still didn't bet against UConn because that's just how dominant they were of a team, and that's how always they will be, because their recruiting process is amazing, their program is amazing, their coach is amazing, and it makes the players amazing.
What about
Breanna Stewart? I mean, for when you're the only player in women's basketball to win 4 MVPs, basically 4 outstanding players in the tournament. So you're looking at that like, can it happen again with another player that comes in next year? I don't see that happening because to win that as a freshman with the team that they already had, it shows how great she is. So seeing her compare with these other players, she's up there for top women's collegiate player of all time. She's for college. You can kind of look at the same thing when they do it like Tyler Hansbrough, how he's one of the best ACC players of all time, but it didn't translate to the professional level. But as a collegiate player, you have to look at her as potentially the top collegiate player of all time.
All right, Khaled, what do you think?
I think they're both definitely in discussion as the top players. I think Gino, like Rudy said, because he coaches women's basketball, Gino is going to be seen as kind of like they're not going to give him his credit, but you gotta give him his due, because he's coaching women to be undefeated. Like he's making them basically so dominant that they could be arguably some of the best basketball players there are. So, for Brittany, I do think that. Oh, you said Breanna, I meant. For Breanna, I do think she's one of the best to come out. She definitely has to show herself in the WNBA and see if her skill does translate into professional or the pro league, and then maybe we can give her a tag as being one of the best or being the best. We see how that works out.
Well, I think definitely Gino deserves to be up there in the names of Phil Jacksons, the Red Auerbachs, the John Woodens, because 11 championships, regardless of any sport, is amazing, and it's a feat that is going to get downplayed because it's women's basketball. But the fact that he's had his teams so far better than all the competition, it speaks for itself. It's not like you go from the dip between UConn and the other teams is significant. Like UConn is up here, and then number 2 is here. But the number 2 and number 3 and the rest aren't that all far apart. But then you just see how much of a high level he has his team on, and you can't help but acknowledge, and you can't knock them for it either. It's not his fault that he's doing what he's making his team do to win. Like if you go to their practice sessions and see how hard they work, it's no joke. Like UConn's women's basketball practice is real, and I definitely recommend other coaches go find out what they're doing in their practices, they can duplicate the same thing in their program. And so as far as Breonna Stewart, Khaled, I disagree with you because I don't think if you have a great college career, I don't think what you do in the pros should impact how you are seen in college. Like we would say Reggie Bush was one of the most exciting players in college, but it didn't exactly always translate to the pro level. But so I feel as though even if she doesn't like play great as a WNBA player, she will still be one of the best women's college, arguably the best women's college basketball player ever, because she's the most accomplished. In her freshman season, she lost 4 games, and her sophomore year, she lost once, and ever since then they've only won. And so you look at things like that, and you sit there. She's more accomplished than Maya Moore, than Taurasi, like we said. It's been so many women. Then Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins, Lisa Leslie. All these women have played the college game, and you look at it, and she's out. She's had her team played at higher levels and consistently on a winning basis than a lot of these women. So I think it's a fun topic for debate, honestly, because I would like to see if you actually put up all the best women's college basketball players' averages, their accolades and stuff. I'm pretty much sure that Breonna would be looking like she's at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
So I would probably lean towards saying she's the best to have played the game, and especially the best to have played in the UConn women's uniform.
Now, as far as the Gino argument, I feel like people need to give him his credit because this is a team that you can play against WNBA teams and win at least half of those games, which most college teams can't do. This is how talented he has his players playing, and you see his dynamism doing college. And I mean, every team in the WNBA isn't UConn stacked like that. And I wouldn't even say like they're stacked. They're just that well-rounded of a team that they can play in the WNBA and at least win half the games they play. If they play the same amount of college games, they can win half of those.
You know what? We can debate that another day because we don't the time restriction. We can't. That is an interesting topic. I remember a few years ago when Alabama was on their roll, a lot of people were saying because Alabama beat the Jaguars at that point in time because they felt like Alabama was such a dominant college team. But we'll get into that another day.